Hello and welcome to The View from IMF. Today we are joined by Amando Tetangco, the Governor of the Central Bank of the Philippines. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
So your central bank is widely known in Asia and the world really for being one of the most independent when it comes to monetary policy. You do not necessarily have to follow the flow of necessarily US rates, etc. And that's because you've done the hard work earlier. At the moment, a lot of economists argue that after the US presidential elections, if Donald Trump were to win, considering the policies he's advocating for, that might bring about higher inflationary pressures, and therefore maybe a Fed rate increase is likelier. If there were to be a hike in the near future from the US, what would be the impact on the Philippines at this moment in time?
Well, you see, we are an inflation targeting country or central bank, and therefore we really focus on the forecast of inflation in the country. And our policy moves are really determined in terms of how far or how close the inflation forecast is with respect to the inflation target. Now, we have been able to hold monetary policy stance steady since September 2014. And this is because the economy continues to show strong growth and benign inflation. Okay? In fact, for 2016, the inflation rate is expected to fall below the lower end of the target range of 2 to 4%. But we expect inflation to gradually move up to within the target range in 2017 and 2018. So based on that, there's really no compelling reason for us to change the stance of monetary policy in the Philippines. Should the Fed hike later this year? Well, we will consider that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we'll also adjust our policy in the monetary policy in the Philippines. It will be one of the considerations. We don't respond to just a single development. We look at all the factors that are affecting inflation in the country. So we don't necessarily have to move in tandem with the Fed. But of course, we will be watchful of the impact of such an action on financial markets in particular, and see if there are any implications on financial stability at that point.
Perfect. And if we look at the banking sector in the Philippines, it's considered to be one of the most open. In terms of why you think that is important, and also if there are any other licenses or any applicants that are interested at the moment.
The idea behind this consolidation, this opening up and consolidating the system is that there's still a significant number of small banks in the Philippines. And we want to see a system that has bigger and stronger institutions. And so therefore we look at consolidation as a means of doing that. There have been significant progress in this area, but I think that consolidation will still continue. Just to give some example, the number of head offices in the Philippines has gone down, but the number of branches, the scope of the banking network is expanded. So we have fewer banks, stronger, bigger, that are reaching a wider geographical area and are able to better provide for the financial requirements of our people.
And when we have a more sort of long-term view about the Philippines economy going forward, there has been quite a lot of analysis in terms of the new administration in the country at the moment. Some analysts argue that there might be higher market volatility that could play against, I think, this very strong and stable nature of the economy that the Philippines has managed to attain, I think, with very strong policies up until now. Do you think that kind of analysis is justified in any way or not in terms of potentially changing in the future?
First of all, volatility is global. I mean, it's not confined to any particular country or region in the world. And if we look at the financial markets, the equities market, the bond market, the foreign exchange market, we have seen fluctuations in the Philippines, just like in the other countries in the region. This volatility, I believe, is caused in large part by external factors. You've got sources of uncertainty, the next Fed action, the volatile commodity prices, Brexit, slowdown in major emerging markets, etc., etc. So all of these factors are affecting financial markets around the world. Now, in the case of the Philippines, we have seen some volatility also because of certain idiosyncratic factors. Right? For instance, in the foreign exchange market, the peso has shown some weakness recently because of the external factors that I already mentioned, but also in addition to that, we have an increased demand for foreign exchange for imports as well as for fixing by corporates and by the banks. So this means that the economy continues to grow.
You don't see this as a long-term threat to the
It
system, essentially?
Well, if you look at it's not going to be a long-term threat. I think it's temporary. And once the market sees through this sort of
period of volatility,
capital will again flow to areas that have strong macroeconomic fundamentals. And the Philippines will benefit from that because we continue to have sound macroeconomic fundamentals, high growth, low inflation, external payment surplus, strong banking system, adequate level of reserves, and we have policy space on both the monetary and the fiscal sides.
And I think the central bank has been very key to building this strength. But in terms of your role at the central bank, obviously your term is coming to an end next year. And I think a lot of people in the business community will be quite sad to see you go, because I think they see in you also a strong actor in building this strength for the economy. In terms of the legal framework, technically you're not allowed, I guess, to have a third term. Can you confirm this, and if you have other plans specifically after the central bank?
Well, you're right. There's a limit under the law, maximum of 2 terms of 6 years each for the BSP governor. And with regard to your specific question, let's leave it at that at this point, right? After my term, what do I'm still thinking about that, but I think I'll first enjoy an unstructured schedule, less stressful pace, and I'm sure I'll be doing something else soon after that. No? So
we might enjoy some freedom, right?
Yes,
after the end of the term.
That's right.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Stefania.